talk about fears. Let's talk about love. Yeah, I got fears, but I ain't got no love.
For those that don't know, Molly Bish was a 16-year-old athletic, honor roll type of individual who was working as a lifeguard, and just recently working as a lifeguard in the town of Warren, Massachusetts. Within 30 minutes, when the first swimmers arrive, she's missing. Her chair is set up on the beach, her whistle's there, her shoes, more specifically, her sandals are there. So she's barefoot. She's only wearing, as far as I know, a bathing suit. There was another report to say she might have had a pair of khaki shorts on with that. Her two-way radio is there. We'll get into that in a little bit. A bottle of water and her first aid kit. What's significant about that is that it's open. Now, let's go back to Molly Bish's victimology. Is she a high-risk victim? Now, sometimes high risk and low risk doesn't really mean anything, okay? I'm always searching for that. You know, just because the way I was taught through the FBI's classification manual and the criminal profiling courses and college courses that I went through, they teach you that. But does that help you actually get to the offender? I don't think so. What it does is it just helps establish your pool of suspects. For instance, if she's a high-risk victim, meaning she lived in a bad neighborhood, she was a drug user, she hung out with shady people, she was a prostitute, things like that make you a higher-risk victim. So your suspect pool is much larger. That doesn't necessarily get you any closer to the suspect. In this case, she is a low-risk victim, means she came from a good family, means she got good grades, she didn't hang out with unsavory characters, she was an athlete, she had a job, responsible. All those things point to a low-risk victim. But she still disappeared, right? So does it really matter whether she's a high risk or low risk? Not really. But it generalizes the pool of suspects, I believe, and it has to be done. So with her victimology being as it is, you would not expect her to be a victim of foul play. Now, anybody can be a victim of foul play, whether you're a high-risk person, such as a drug-using prostitute, or a low-risk victim, as Molly Bish and many others are. You still have to look at victimology in order to determine what would she do under given circumstances, and who or what is the pool of suspects we are looking for. Are we looking for teenage, rebellion, bad kids? Are we looking at the other end of this as an abduction from an unknown predator? Those are the things that victimology can help you with. None of these things that you look at, criminal profiling, crime scene assessment, victimology, suspectology, none of those things are going to lead you exactly to your suspect. So let's get into a bit of a timeline. And the timeline, you know, is well established that you have to focus in about 48 hours before and after the commission of the crime, or in this case, a disappearance. So it's very important that we do that, because you never know what clues can be brought out before or after the crime, obviously. So in this case, the day before is very important. Now, why? Because when Molly Bish is being dropped off at this pond to be a lifeguard, now remember, she's taking over this lifeguard position from her brother, who had been a lifeguard at that pond for 3 years. She was new to it, but she was a great swimmer. She was a softball player, I believe field hockey as well. Very athletic. 16 years old, going into her senior year. Now, when her mom drops her off the day before this disappearance, now this is very crucial, is when she pulls into the parking lot at 10 o'clock. It might have been 9:50. It seems like they were very responsible people, and it looks like her mom may have gotten her there earlier than when she was supposed to be there. That's always my motto too. And my daughter gets so tired of me saying it, but I always say it. If you're early, you're never late. I'm always early to everything I do. And it seems like maybe that was the case in this family too, because it's before the pond opens up. And Mom is dropping Molly off, and she notices a car parked near her where she can observe individual in the car. It made her feel uneasy. Her thoughts are, what's he doing here? This isn't even open yet, and he's sitting there smoking a cigarette. Doesn't he have a job? Doesn't he have a place to be? I want to say that Molly's disappearance was on a Tuesday. So that would put this guy there on a Monday. It gives her an uneasy feeling. She doesn't want to leave Molly there. So she gets out of her car and goes down to the beach and hangs out with Molly for a little bit. She comes back to the car. The guy is still there. She messes around in a car, making time like she is looking for something to make it not obvious that she's not leaving, because this guy is making her feel uncomfortable. The guy finally leaves. Could it be anything? Yes. Let me tell you something. I sometimes have gone to state parks, to ponds that I am familiar with, and sat there and, just relaxed. I don't care whether the place is open or not. It's therapeutic, to stare at the water and be there before it gets crowded. So, can I put a lot of stock into this? Not yet. But Mom noticed. Fast forward to the next day, they go through the same routine. Mom is dropping off her daughter. She does her thing. Before she takes her to Cummings Pond to begin her work, they stop at the police station, which is very ironic. And they get a two-way radio. Now, the reason for this is because cell phone coverage wasn't there. There was no... I guess there were cell phones in 2000, but not as prevalent as it is today. And there was no other communication lines there. So they used a radio. That was found at Molly's empty station. So Molly gets there. Within 30 minutes, she's gone.